I'm Mike Krow, and it's now time for the Desperate Meter Report with Mr. Booburger. Booburger?
As you can see, Mike, the desperation is off the charts. We have blown past the clickbait title phase and are quickly approaching a forecast of a sense of grandeur and a loss of reality. We might even see a smash that like button and a click that notification bell by the end of the week. It's not looking good. Booburger out.
Oh my god. There's nothing written on these papers at all. What you are seeing in front of you is not part of a Bender cosplay, but is in fact part of a product once offered by NTT Docomo. It's called the Pocket Board, or the Pocket Board, and it represents a strange little period in time for Japanese cell phones. Hey Tanaka-san, is that a pocket board in your pants, or are you happy to see me? No, you're never happy to see me, are you? Screw you, Tanaka! In 1985, Japan's telecommunication industry was privatized, and with it brought a bunch of new companies. This boom pushed the communications industry to develop quickly, and by the mid-90s, every salaryman had one cigarette in one hand and a cell phone in the other, and a mouth full of kaki no tane. Around the same time, the internet was starting to come into its own, and email was something that people would begin to use. But the problem with email is that you gotta be at home in order to get the latest Bare Naked Ladies newsletter. What the hell?
Ah, jeez. It's been 1 week.
So to fix this problem, Docomo created the Pocket Board Zero, which is the first of the Pocket Board series. They would later follow this up with the Pocket Board Pure, and once more with the Pocket Board Palette, which feels so true to its name even Bob Ross would be proud. Sadly though, palette is actually a French word meaning flat stone. I'm sure they thought if this whole mail terminal thing didn't work out, they could at least advertise it as something people could take out on the weekend and skip across the local lake. But the real magic of this device is that it hooks up directly to your phone. Which, depending on the size of your phone, could become part of your home workout. In 1998, NTT developed an email service called MasterNet for cell phones. The service was provided by the ISP Zero, which was ran by GMO Internet. It was based on the fact that they wouldn't charge for a voice call, but instead would charge only for the connection time. This connection time would be about 12 seconds, and with tax would come to around 10.5 yen to send and receive an email. They of course had a max size, which was 2 kilobytes, or about 1,000 characters. And because of this, it was called Juin Meiru, or 10 yen mail. From what I understand, when you connect to the MasterNet, you're basically connecting to a separate server that would connect to the internet and act as a server between the two. I believe there were other services like this 10 yen mail, and in the actual device there's a few different service names, Dream Paquetto and Mopera, but I didn't have enough time to really dive deeper. Spending money to send emoji to your friends? Sure sounds great. Apparently this was a big success with young women, and partially led to its limited success. You can kind of see it in the advertisements that were out at the time. It's pretty interesting because it's basically a mobile hotspot, which seems like a really wild idea in 1998. And as far as I can tell, it's just using the phone as a modem and doing something that I guess nowadays we'd call tethering. Which is a concept I definitely had no idea of in 1998, or even 2008, or maybe even now. As mentioned earlier, the Palette was the latest iteration of the Pocket Board series, which released in 2000 at a price of 12,800 yen. The original Pocket Board Zero was, from what I understand, really the standard when it came to mail terminals, and was such a hit that they sold out in the early spring of 1998. A review of the Palette at the time wrote about how surprised they were at how light it was, but to me it just kind of feels like a cheap calculator or PDA. This particular device could do both 10 yen mail and normal internet mail via POP3 SMTP, and holds a whopping 200 emails and 100 email addresses. I might have to order a few more of them. And with its 2 AAA batteries, it supports 13 hours connected and 26 hours offline of operation time. First, I wasn't sure why, but for some reason they let you change the menu icons to your own custom drawings. I'm guessing so you'd have something to do while you're waiting for your next batch of emails to pop up. But in reality, it was something that you could trade with other people who had a Palette. Unfortunately, since I don't really have access to the service, there were quite a few things I couldn't really try. From what I read, this device is about getting people started with sending and receiving emails, and doesn't have all the same bells and whistles other devices at the time might have. I mean, how could this compete with something like this?
あいつが出張の時こそ勝負でしょ。写真を撮ってメールで送ろう。よし。美穂ちゃん。CDMA1 にフォトパレット新登場。気配り最強。
Pretty awesome. The MasterNet and mail terminals all pretty much died at the same time, when NTT Docomo themselves released a service called iMode in 1999, which pretty much did email and more. Needless to say, it was the end times for the pocket boards, but it didn't actually end until the MasterNet was officially shut down in 2008. So pocket boards, no more. And that's the short-lived life of pocket board fame. Pretty crazy how quick it goes by. Now if you don't mind, I gotta get back to the set of my home workout series, Text and Tone, The Path to Pocket Board Apps. It's gonna be a doozy, so I'll see you next week. It's heavy.
Well, that's good enough. Boo Burger out.